Okay, wow. Hello, welcome. Yeah, welcome to the Dolby House on this early morning for ADE time. Yeah, we're very happy to have artist, producer Loek joining us on stage here. Just a quick heads up, I guess most of you will know it, but you are right now being surrounded by 16 loudspeakers, so we will play his music here on stage and you will hear it coming from the front, side, rear, all over you, so really 360 degrees immersive experience. So you're in for something. So let's give a welcome applause for Loek. Hello.
Hey.
Good, hi. Thank you for joining. So, how was ADE so far?
Yeah, it's been good. 3 days in the studio. Yeah, it's been a good time, nice and chill.
So you used the time for some writing, producing sessions?
Yeah, I was in the studio Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then yeah, this is my first chill day.
Okay, wow. Yeah, you're quite young still, so
Yeah.
So let's probably go back to not that far back, but back to the beginning. What got you into music? What were your first like musical influences?
Well, Avicii's always been my idol. So I think the country, dance, EDM is first what got me into music. Yeah, Avicii, Martin Garrix, the old school EDM guys. That's yeah, they're the guys that got me into it.
So you were from the beginning always into electronic music?
Well, I used to listen to I would say more commercial music. And then I remember when I was 12 or 13 or something, I had an obsession with Pete Tong. And I used to listen to him like every day. My parents are like, yeah, this guy's like 12, he's listening to Pete Tong, this is our music. But yeah, he was actually probably one of the guys that got me into it. And then, yeah, and then Avicii, Martin Garrix.
So it was never playing in bands, it was always sitting in the studio with electronic gear and working on that?
No, so I was in a band before.
What did you play?
Guitar.
Ah, you're a guitar
Yeah.
player, okay.
So yeah, I've always loved music. Yeah.
But pretty sure at some point you went into like, okay, I really want to go full-time creating music, producing music. When was that? What made that decision?
I mean, music's always been my biggest passion and the thing I love the most. And yeah, there was always a point when I was in the band, I was even producing then, and I always found myself just coming back to the laptop and making dance music. So I was like, maybe this is what I need to do. Then I made the switch.
Very cool. And yeah, that led then, of course, to your first releases. And actually, of course, we have quite a few of your music tracks here. So maybe we're gonna go and listen to some of those. Yeah, we have the first track. I mean, maybe it's cool to just play it to the audience and then we can talk a bit more about that track afterwards. Should we go for that?
Sounds good.
So let's probably go and play Begging for a Dollar in Dolby Atmos and then let's speak a bit more about how that came to be and how you're working.
Begging for a dollar, don't know where to go.
Very cool. Yeah, so how did that song came to be? Where did you find that vocal? That sounds like a sample from some old vinyl that you found somewhere in the...
Yeah, so that was actually the first song when I wanted to make like a country meets soul meets EDM house, like one big combination. And that was the first track. We wanted to make a song that sounds like a sample, that isn't a sample. So yeah, that's actually not a sample. We wrote the song. We wrote it, I think, 30 BPM slower than the original, and then we like sped it up to make it sound like a sample. But yeah, that was actually the first song that got me signed. So
okay,
yeah, it's a big moment.
So that's a great. So what was that inspiration was to make it sound like it's an old record that you got into a remix, but then
Yeah.
Cool. Great vocalist, great. Who was singing it?
So that was my friend Chris Mears. He's not actually a singer, so he was like, I'm going to play with my voice, make it sound like a sample. I think that's the only thing he's ever sung. Yeah, he sounds great.
Cool. Is it often like that you have like a a vocal or a certain vocal line that is the first thing when you do a track, or where do you usually start on your new tracks?
I think day to day when I'm in the studio, I normally start with production, like chords or a track. I mean, every time it depends. It changes every time, but usually it's production.
Okay.
Yeah, chords or.
So like a certain following of chords or something that is triggering that you think, hey, this is great, let's continue working on that? Or?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's the other way around. Sometimes I have like a vocal idea and then I'll produce around that. But most of the time it's with production.
So, yeah, obviously we just heard the track in Dolby Atmos, and actually most of your tracks have been mixed in Atmos that have been released so far. So how is it for you hearing your music this way?
Well, yeah, I listened to my songs in Dolby for the first time, I think 2 weeks ago in London in the studio. And honestly, my reaction was, I was amazed. It was insane. You hear the sounds flying around and it's, you're listening to music in a different way.
Did that give you some new ideas what you could try?
Yeah, I think it makes you, you hear music in a completely different way because you hear the sounds flying around the room as opposed to just left and right. So yeah, for sure, it makes you more creative.
Yeah, definitely, and I think it's very very nice with this kind of electronic music. So I think I really found it quite interesting. Is there something you would like to try out for your next releases by using that 3D space a bit?
Well, there was something I noticed when I heard my song for the first time in Dolby, that the lead synth was like flying around the room.
Yeah.
And for me, I've never tried that. I always keep my leads like in the center. So I think that's something I want to try out. Experimenting with that.
It's very interesting. Looking forward to that, definitely. Let's probably listen to another track. So we have another track here. Take Me There. That's actually a collab. So how do these collaborations come
I actually wrote that song with Nuala in the studio. We both loved the song, so we decided to do it together.
So you knew each other beforehand, or you met for a writing session? Or
yeah, that was the first time we met. We wrote that song.
Okay.
Yeah.
So writing session in the studio, and then whose idea, like who was doing what? I guess she was probably working on the vocals, or?
Yeah, I think she had the vocal idea, and then I had a track, and it just worked so well. We finished it and released it.
So you had musical elements before, and then you found vocals that work on it, or?
Yeah, well, I had like an idea for the production. She had like a vocal idea, and then we put them together, and it worked pretty well. So yeah, we finished it.
Cool. Yeah, let's just have a listen to that. Let's have a listen to "Take Me There." Yeah, I think that was the track, was the flying around Synthi line.
Yeah, I heard it flying around. That was the song.
Yeah, we can even hear it here on the stage, but of course it's much nicer for you down there. So we are sitting a little bit close to the center speaker up here, but that's the life of being on stage. Speaking of being on stage, you're obviously also play live, you're DJing. How is your work in the studio influencing your work as a DJ, or are you trying to take your studio sound and translating that to the stage?
Yeah, I think one thing I've realized about even going to like CDJs and playing live is the low end in a song. That's like one thing. Whenever I play live, it makes you realize how important the low end is and the drums. So I think that is definitely something I consider in the studio.
So while working on the tracks, you're already considering how they will work as part of your DJ set?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And like for you, what are you mostly producing for? Where should we ideally hear your music?
It's a good question. I listen to music, the same music, in bed, in the car, in the club. I mean, I listen to the same genre of music pretty much everywhere. So for me, I would say the car, the club, your bedroom. Yeah, if you're on a run, the gym.
So a good track really translates? Yeah,
I think so, yeah.
So when you taking your studio records and you bring them into the club, are you testing them? Or do you play them and then you go back and refining?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's with the low end. That's like the main thing. If the low end doesn't hit, or if there's too much low end, that's always the thing. I think that's the biggest test in the club.
And else, do you like read the reaction of the audience on your tracks and taking that into consideration when working on them?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that's also down to the low end and the drums and the rhythm in the drums. That's something I change after.
At what point do you then say a track is finished? How do you make that decision?
When I have to stop. Yeah, I could work on songs for ages. Sometimes I spend 5-6 days on a song, and then my manager's like, "Yeah, the deadline's today." I'm like, "Okay, I'll stop."
Okay, it makes lots of sense. So they often start in these writing sessions. I guess that's like the initial creative moment.
Yeah, most of the time.
So you just worked on, how many tracks did you work on this week? I heard you were quite a few.
Yeah, I somehow did 3, so I did 4 this week, which is quite a lot, but we were in the studio like pretty late, so it was a long day. And then we went back at like 3 a.m. On Tuesday, so that was fun.
Very interesting. So will all of these be released at some point, or?
I don't know, I hope so. I think that's also something I'm considering now is, when I make the music, I know almost straight away if I'm going to release it. So, I would say 2 or 3, hopefully.
Okay, nice. Are you like planning for making this all into an album, or is there something like that you already have maybe in the back of your head? How would a potential song fit in the context of an album?
Yeah, I've never thought about an album. Obviously, I'd love to do one, but there's no plans anytime soon. But I think all the stuff I make tends to like fit in the same lane, the same genre. So it could be in an album. But even the way I release, it's like I try to have the next song progress from the one before. So it almost is like telling a story or like an album.
Okay, that's interesting. So because I think we play the tracks here in chronological order as well. So
yeah.
So actually, from Take Me There, we go to the next song, maybe Angels. So how are they two connected?
I think so. The vocalist of Angels is Julia Church, and Nuala and Julia Church have, I guess, a similar vocal. The melody, the production, it all kind of like fits together. But I would say Angels is like the next step from Take Me There because it's maybe a bit more club, a bit more energetic. Whereas Take Me There is more of like a summer sunset vibe.
Okay, and so was it again a born in a writing session?
Yeah, 2.5 years ago actually.
2.5 years, okay.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
You've been refining that song for long then.
Yeah, and then I finally had to finish it. So.
Okay, same story. So again, you're testing it as part of your DJ gigs, and
I didn't actually play this song. I've never played the song live. I think because I did it as a collab with Telecast, and we just wanted to finish the version before we played it. Yeah.
Interesting. So 2.5 years in the making. So that's very nice. So let's have a listen to Angels in Dolby Atmos. Cool. Yeah, I guess the low end works.
Yeah.
Seems to be working. I also really like the immersion on that track, so that you really felt like you're in. When I heard that in Atmos, that you're really like in the middle of all these synths and these immersive sound waves. Let's put it this way.
Yeah, that was actually the song when I first heard Dolby. The synth was going around in the room. That was Angels.
Very nice, very nice. So obviously, when you're working in stereo, are you finalizing the tracks completely in your studio, or are you working with somebody for the final mixes?
Yeah, I finish all the production myself, and then I send it to a guy called Michael in Austria who does the final mix.
Michael in Austria?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you met him in person before?
I haven't, no, just over WhatsApp. But he's the guy who finishes my songs.
Okay,
makes a
very
master.
good. Cool. He's also doing the mastering on a
Yeah.
Okay, so 99% of the decisions you finish and then just.
Yeah, I mean, even with the mix, I tend to like give mix notes, but he just knows how to make the drums and the bass hit. So, yeah.
Okay, very
he's the
good.
man.
Okay, I see. Yeah, I mean, most of the tracks we're listening to were actually artist collaborations. Yeah, so you often work with somebody for the vocals, I guess. And are there any like collaborations planned, an artist that you definitely would like to work with going forward?
I mean, yeah, I would love to work obviously with Martin Garrix in the future. That's like that's the goal. But yeah, I've been doing a lot with VisionV. We have like a similar sound. Actually, my next song is with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's one guy I definitely want to do more with.
So you work with him more often, or?
Yeah, we have like 5 or 6 songs together at the minute, but maybe I don't know how many will be released.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that forms to be a bit more ongoing collaboration then.
Yeah, when we first worked together, we realized our sound was like very similar, and now we've just kind of figured out our own collab sound, I guess. So we've been doing a lot of that.
You're sitting together in the studio then, or are you sending elements back and forth, or?
Yeah, we tend to do most things in the studio, but he's based in Vienna, so we do a lot over Zoom on WhatsApp. But he was in ADE this week, so we had a couple of days in the studio, which was good.
Okay, that's maybe why we have so many new tracks that were born this week then.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, interesting. So yeah, then let's maybe play that. I mean, the cool thing is the next track we're gonna hear is actually an unreleased record. So it will come out, when was it, November?
2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
2 weeks this Friday.
Okay, perfect. And that's a collaboration with VisionV and Lauren? So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the first collaboration we have coming out. So yeah, it feels good.
So what should we pay extra attention to when we listen to that track?
This is actually my first time hearing it in Dolby,
Yeah.
because we got it back 2 days ago or something. We got the mix back. But I love the vocal in this song. It just feels so effortless. Just the vibe of the vocal. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's have a listen. Yeah, you're welcome to go down and sit in the sweet spot if you want to hear that track.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Let's do that, okay. All right. Yeah, I think it works.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Absolutely.
Pretty crazy to hear it for the first time.
Absolutely, and yeah, I think it works. I think what you say about the vocal is true. It's very, very unique. Very this effortlessness.
Yeah.
Was this planned or just happened?
No, it actually just happened. We played a show in London the day before, and we were maybe like a little bit hungover, and we were just like playing around with some ideas. Actually, the same as Begging for a Dollar. We had the song at like 30 BPM slower than the original. Yeah, and then we were just throwing around some ideas, recorded it, sped it up. Yeah, and it became the song.
That's interesting. So you're writing and then speeding it up when basically everything is written and produced?
Yeah, I feel like doing it that way gives it the sample vibe, and also you can capture some different ideas when it's at slower tempo.
Very nice. Before opening up to some audience questions, maybe last question for you. So this will come out in 2 weeks. Do you have I feel the way that you're working, you probably do not have that yet, but is it like a schedule? What tracks will come after that? You have something like lined up in the waiting list where you think this is close to be released as well, or? Yeah,
I mean, I have. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I have some remixes lined up, but I'm not sure. It's not confirmed, so I don't want to say just.
Okay, so you wait for that release.
Yeah. But we have. I think January will be the next proper single.
Okay, and you have some of the ideas lined up. What that will be?
Yeah, I mean the guy who I wrote it with is actually in the crowd over here.
Okay,
Rory. So yeah.
Very cool.
That's going to be the next one.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah, maybe we have a few questions from the audience. We do have, I think, a microphone as well. Yeah. So, good. Do we have any here? There's a question over there. Here you go.
Hi, Luke. Can you tell us a bit more about your process in the studio? Like what aspects you get involved in, concepts, lyrics, that kind of stuff?
Yeah. So I come from like a songwriting background. I always love to write the song. So yeah, I tend to always do the melodies, the production, and then lyrics is not my strong point. So I usually get a production idea going, get the melodies in, and then I normally do the production while somebody else does the lyrics. Maybe I'll jump in on the lyrics, and then I always tend to take a day after the session to finish it, work on it properly. Yeah, I mean it changes every time.
Hello? Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Hi,
Hello.
guys. You mentioned about your family and sort of listening to certain artists when you were younger that inspired you, like Avicii and things like that.
Yeah.
Was your family quite musical as well? Were you inspired by them? Were they involved in music, or was it just sort of passion for a specific genre that made you get into dance or electronic?
Yeah, I mean, no, so my parents actually aren't that musical, but my grandparents are. And actually, you can kind of hear it in Begging for a Dollar. Ray Charles was like one of the first guys. That I guess got me into music. And I guess you can hear that in Begging for a Dollar. But yeah, it just happened. I don't know how.
Any more questions? Oh, there you go.
So, you are a very young producer, I would say. What is your absolutely, I would say, beginner tips for starting producing and DJing? Do you have any advices?
Yeah, I guess I think you have to start. There's no rules. You can start anywhere and just keep going at it. But I think YouTube honestly can help so much with production tutorials, getting the mix clean. And you just have to start posting on social media as much as you can, which I still need to get better at. But I just think you got to start somewhere and just keep going at it.
So you studied at BIM, B-I-M-M. Did that like help you, or how was that?
No, it was good. Like, because at the time I wasn't living in London, so it allowed me to live into London, which helped my career. But the school did help me. But yeah, I mean,
more like the network.
I think more the fact me being in London. But I don't think I learned too much.
Okay. One more question there.
Hi, Loek. Where do you get your inspiration from?
Martin, right now it changes all the time, but right now Martin Garrix is my, I mean, he's always been one of my biggest inspirations. And I think it often the music I listen to inspires the music I make, and that's always changing. It honestly changes every time.
And also maybe the moments outside of music, for example.
Yeah.
What triggers you to get creative?
Yeah, I think traveling a lot helps with creativity. Like I spent a week in Ibiza a few weeks ago, and then I came back, did a week in the studio, and that inspires. Yeah, I love the music.
Yeah.
So you started in a rock band playing guitar. Did your interest in recording and production start when you were then, or what DAW did you start using? Are you still using that one? How did you get into the production side of it?
So I started GarageBand when I was like 11 or 12 or something. And then I got into Logic when I was in the band. I was recording guitars. Then I always found myself making everything EDM, even though that wasn't the sound of what I was doing. And that's what made me realize I had to become a DJ. I've always been Logic.
So now you've got Logic. Have you switched on the Dolby Atmos renderer in there yet? Do you fancy giving it a go yourself?
I haven't. I need to get into that. I would love to, though.
We can talk about that for sure. You're in the right place
Yeah.
for that. Cool. Do you have any more questions on there from the audience? Okay. So then I guess you're back to more writing sessions, or will you play a DJ set at ADE, or?
Yeah, I'm playing on Saturday. But yeah, just until Saturday, gonna take it pretty easy. Yeah.
Where are you playing?
I'm playing on a boat. And
Oh.
yeah, first time on a boat, so should be fun.
Sounds great. All the best for that, for sure. Yeah, speaking about Martin Garrix, so Stamped Studios, which is the studio from Martin Garrix, they also have Atmos, and one of the guys doing the Dolby Atmos mixes there is here tomorrow at 12. So if you have time, you can check that out.
I'll be here.
He will show one Martin Garrix track in Atmos, as well as some other work he did. So yeah, it's a small world here in in the Netherlands, of course. Okay, so then I would say enjoy ADE, have a great time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us and bringing all this great music with you.
No, thank
All
you.
right.
Thanks for having me,
Then.
guys. Thank you.